I am that I am. Adamus of Sovereign Domain. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Shout 10 of the Alt Series. Welcome. I normally am not a real big fan of contemporary music on this planet. I come from a more classical background. I've written quite a few compositions and could perform really in an expert level on 5 to 6 different instruments.
At least.
That was expert level. Then many others at almost expert.
Of course.
When I started working with Chambra, and I'd hear the music come in, and I'd listen to it. I wasn't so fond of it. I made that well known to Caldra, but he's the one ultimately that chooses it with the rest of the Crimson Circle staff. I just said, how about some classical music? Wouldn't that be nice? Open up with some nice classical music. A few old people here are saying yes. And but I'm actually learning to appreciate it more. The song that was just played, coming in, this was what we call Diamonds, Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Well, when I heard this the other day as they were preparing the music for my grand entrance, I thought, well, now, I like that. And I found myself, I was sitting at the Ascended Masters Club, and I found myself sitting at my big chair by the fireplace, tapping my foot to the music. I was amazed. Yes, we have feet at the Ascended Masters. We've been human. And I listened to the lyrics a little bit, and shine bright like a diamond. This is what you're doing. And as I listened more and more into it, quite rackety at points. I think I would have done the orchestration a little bit different, but such passion through Calder's eyes. I was watching the video that you saw at the beginning of this. I was watching it, and such passion on the part of the singer. I forgot what her name is, but such Rihanna, yes, such passion. I've been listening to more and more human music with that eye in the ear. It's not just about an exquisite classical composition now, but it's about the humans expressing their journey. There's still things I don't get. Hip hop. Why would anybody call their music that? I would have been thrown out of Europe if I'd have done that. Hip hop. Country western. Well, some of it I actually kind of like, but it's a few too many trailers and a few too many tornadoes for me, so I'll pass on that one. But some of it I'm really learning to appreciate. And actually, we had a gathering a few days ago at the Ascended Masters Club. I called together my peers that are going to be part of this Light of the Merlin. I called in Merlin. I called in, of course, Katumi. Called in Saint Germain, which is really me, so it was redundant, but it worked. And Ed called in Dear Kathumi. And then Gaia. Gaia, she's here today. I invited her to the conference, and then she came back later and said, well, tell me a little bit more about the Chambra. And I said, well, I'll tell you, just come to the gathering today. Just take a seat or take a stump or whatever it is. Well, sitting on trees, and take a flower. Come in and feel Chambra. I told her a little bit about you. I said, this is really a rebel group. This is not your typical Gaia group, if you know what I mean. We're not going to go out collecting nuts and smelling the roses type of thing. This group likes to drink. And I said, but it's kind of Gaia-ish, because wine comes from grapes. So it's part of your oversight with a vineyard. So, yeah, they're kind of Gaia-ish, but they're not your typical group. So she's here today. Please take a deep breath, feel and welcome in the energies of Gaia into our gathering. I hopefully by the end of this day that she'll still want to be part of the Merlin conference, but you never know. We did get to talking about music, and Gaia was the first one to say, "Oh no, human music. It's grounded. It's very real. Humans now sing from their hearts. It's not just playing for the ear as we used to do in our compositions hundreds of years ago. We used to perform for the ear, for the, I guess you could call it the vibrational kind of influence. But humans now, Gaia said, humans, they play from their hearts, and they are so soulful about their music. And so I've been listening with a different ear, and I'm toning down my arrogance a bit.
Really?
I said a bit. I said I didn't turn it off, I toned it down. And I'm beginning to actually enjoy some of the music. So I'm curious to see what we will all come up with for our Merlin conference this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But listening to that song, it reminded me of you, the lyrics, shine bright like a diamond. And that's what you do, shine bright. And we're going to talk today about light, the effect of light. It's kind of our continuing discussion of metaphysics. But I want you to just feel for a moment that song being about you. Not a love song about somebody else, but that song being about you. Shining bright like a diamond. I love diamonds, by the way. Crystals, shining bright. And as I listened to it and I felt the passion from the singer, I realized that this is why you came here, to shine bright like diamonds, like crystals. Shine your light. That's exactly why you're here, and that's why I agreed with Caldra to have this song played. Although not my norm, but I felt it was so very appropriate for this group. Shine bright like a diamond. The issue of shining bright like a diamond, it's what you came here to do, and it's what you're actually pretty good at, but there's still some overlays, not letting it shine, holding it back, knowing that you can shine it, but still being a little tentative, cautious about shining it. What if you blow the circuits on the planet from all of your light? What if you're noticed by others? That's a tough one, isn't it? Suddenly they see you. Suddenly you're exposed for who you really are, angelic beings walking this planet, beings that have, many of you, done a lot of the realm work, beings that have come back here at this specific time. What if they see you? What if they overwhelm you? What if they won't leave you alone? What if they do the Jesus thing to you? Jesus, yes. So there's still that kind of that hold back, and very understandable. But I want to challenge you this month, like I challenged you with a different thing last month. What if you let your light shine now, openly? What if you just let it go out, radiate? Will they really actually see you? Some of them, yes. A lot of them, no. In other words, they're suddenly not going to all be falling at your footsteps. They're not all going to want instant healings. That's a bad thing to get into. They're not all going to want to argue that the light is really the demon, the devil. And shining your light, you're going to find, is so much easier than what you've been going through with your own body lately. So much of what's happened now since Heaven's Cross is affecting your body. It's other levels, but what you're really noticing right now, especially if you're kind of holding back, it hurts the body, doesn't it? Yeah. That and a few other symptoms that you might be experiencing. Many of you having anxiety at a level that you haven't had in a while. Many of you have never really even had it, suddenly feeling anxiety. And part of that's from holding back. Part of it's from knowing that things are really going to pick up speed and changes are going to occur. Again, we'll talk about that today, but that anxiety, it's almost like you can't catch your breath. It's almost like knowing that something's going to happen, but fearing what might happen. I'll tell you right now, and I know this is easy to say, but There's nothing to fear at all. Nothing. Nothing. I know some of you fear I'm going to die, or the planet's going to blow up, or I need to maintain my limitations so I just don't go off the wall. You don't need to worry about that. Right now, like never before, it's you and your soul. It's you and your wisdom. That wisdom is not going to let something happen to you that is going to be harmful to you. Well, it's not going to even let you do something bad, even if you want to. Ultimately, right now, it's so much about the new relationship between the human and the soul. A level of trust from you, the human. Level of trust in ultimately yourself, but not your little human self, in your soul self, and letting that in. So yes, you are like diamonds that are shining, and it's really time to let that out right now. It's going to make things easier for you physically, especially right now. Right now, what is happening, and the reason why you're feeling the physical reactions from Heaven's Cross, is that your light body is right there. I mean, it's right there. It is working right now in harmony with your biology. Your biology knows that its time has come. For the old biology on the planet, it's really coming to an end. Human biology has been around for a long time, and it's not going to disappear tomorrow. But it's changing rapidly on many, 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 many different levels. Some are going to go by the way of augmentation, of implants, of eventually a total, which we call artificial, but it's kind of real also, a total artificial body. Almost no biology in it. And yes, consciousness can infuse into a robotic being. Well, hell, you did it into carbon. Why not do it into robotics? It's absolutely doable. I'm not saying that's the way to go, but it's the way things are going on this planet. The day of the old biology, especially a biology that you really didn't understand, it was very, very complex. That's going away. For you, it's not about augmentation, robotics, implants, or anything like that. It's about light body. Light body is right here. That's why you're feeling so many things in your body. That's why you're going through some reactions, some of the, whether you're catching a very bad pneumonia, whether some of you have had the unfortunate situation with going septic and a few other things. And it's because that old human body is flushing out right now. And it's going through some tremendous changes, bringing in the light body. And it's happening at deep levels, but you're starting to feel it at surface levels also. And that's all happening right now. It's a wonderful thing. You should be smiling. Everybody here sitting in the audience is, oh, I want to go back to the good old days. No, you asked for this, sorry. This train has left the station. But take a moment just to feel that light body. It's not there, it's right here. It is learning how to really relate to rapport with your biology. Your biology initially doesn't particularly care for it. Your biology is kind of a closed loop system, doesn't like foreign things in it other than sex. And then it's really closed loop. It doesn't like anything in it, and it attacks it when it comes about. And here you are right now integrating with or rapporting with that light body. It's very, very simple. It's not a complex thing. It's its own oneness. It doesn't need a big network. Your physical body, you feel it for a moment, it's a huge network. I mean, huge. And its time has come. Its time has really come. And I hear the questions now, and so we'll do a whole new session on it pretty soon. As soon as you have time in your schedule, dear.
Yeah,
Linda
thank you.
Caldera.
Sure, right away.
You really, in this whole transition, what happens to the biology? What happens to it? Well, I'll give you a clue. It dies. Well, no, it does. There's laughter. No, the biology does, but you can still be present. let's say if you were going to come back for another lifetime, I don't think many of you are, but if you were, you might start out with a biological being, biological body, but then it changes over to a complete light body. And you have a lot of the attributes of physical, but it's really not. Or another way of putting it, after you depart the planet, leave this physical, biological body behind, this is what you have going forward. You are a light body, not a network anymore. It's oneness. But you can bring up any of the physical attributes you want when you want, if you want. So all this tremendous change. When we were having our discussion the other day, it was kind of like a prep meeting for Light of the Merlin, and talking about who's going to talk about what, and and kind of directing them and things to say, particularly about me. And we were talking about the rapid changes that are happening on the planet, and Gaia said, "Do you think your group, this Shambhar group, understands how rapidly things are changing?" I said, "No, I actually don't. To a degree, and we talk about it, but," I said, "Gaia, the problem is they want it to go faster." And that's the problem. She said, "Oh, dear Lord," she said. She said, "It's going so fast right now, I can't keep up with it. The changes on the planet, the species that are going extinct and new ones coming in. Not a bad thing at all. It's evolution of the planet." And Gaia basically said, "Well, what should they do?" And I said, "Well, it's a paradox because at one moment, Shambhar says, 'I want it faster, it's going too slow.' And the next moment, when we speed it up a little bit, then they're crying. They're down on the ground. They're like, 'Oh, what's happening to me?'" So she's going to have some interesting things to say about departing, her kind of like, not her final closing words, but why she's leaving and how she's leaving and how humans are taking it. So looking forward to that. But back to the point. Take a deep breath. You are truly shining like diamonds right now. But do let it out. Let it. You're going to feel much better as you breathe, and just let it out. Let it open up. Speaking of the sky, I'm going to make a prediction. I should never make predictions with this group, but I will make one. This is based on going into the future a bit. I'm going to say maybe early fall time frame, early through the end of fall time frame, and maybe a bit after that. And this is based on not like knowing exactly what's going to happen. Nobody does. Nobody does. Any reader, psychic, any angelic being that does not know exactly what's going to happen because it's nothing but potentials. Now, there are some that are more obvious than others. And so I make this prediction based on some obvious facts. A couple of things. There's a lot more light on the planet now than there was 3 months ago. That's a pretty obvious fact. There's a lot more light, a lot more consciousness on the planet. There's a tremendous amount of change going on right now, particularly when it comes to the planet, to Gaia, to nature. It's shifting very, very, very quickly right now, and it's not a bad thing. Humans get caught up in the blame game and everything. Yes, there are some things that need to be corrected, but essentially humans are working at it. Gaia is changing right now. The way light comes into this planet has changed now since Heaven's Cross. The way light comes in is different. And you have other factors like environmental that have to do with, again, all these fires that are occurring, sending the smoke off into the atmosphere. You combine all the factors, and particularly with your light coming from this planet, you're going to see some amazing atmospheric displays in the coming months, particularly about the time in the northern hemisphere when it gets cooler, and the kind of the cold and the hot, the level of moistures, the natural pollution that's in the air and man-made, and your light coming in. There will be some amazing atmospheric light displays. Good potential. And of course, you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to have their theories and opinions, and there's going to be the ones that are saying it's the aliens. No, it's not. It's you. Your light is shining, refracting in a different way. When you're here on the planet, and that light is shining forth and hitting an atmosphere that's different now for many reasons, everything from the smoke in Canada, thank you Canadians, to the... I'm joking, eh? To just the changing temperature levels on the planet, changing. You combine all these factors, humidity, everything else, and there's suddenly going to be these amazing light displays. What are people going to say? What typical person? You're going to get at one end of the spectrum saying that it's alien beings, and they're coming down here in their spaceships. The other end of the spectrum is going to be saying it's because we're ruining our planet because of all the bad things we've done to it, and this is signaling the end. You're going to get everything, but I want you to know right now, when this happens, it's simply your light shining off the atmosphere. It's kind of reverse crop circle. No, it is. Crop circles. They came from the Order of the Ark. They weren't necessarily deliberate. It's not like they were sitting up there at the Order of the Ark with a big laser. All right, get Farmer Jones's field over there and zap and make a great big crop circle. It was simply a reflection of energies, of light from the Order of the Ark onto the planet, and it hit certain spots depending on soil composition and weather and temperature and everything. It made crop circles. You notice now, there are not nearly as many crop circles as there used to be. There's a lot of hoax crop circles. But crop circles are a real thing. They were kind of like a design coming from the Order of the Ark. Beautiful symbolic designs, and then humans started to copy them and ruin the whole damn thing. But you're not going to have as many genuine, real crop circles as before. Because the Order of the Ark is kind of closed down, you're seeing kind of an after effect. A few crop circles here and there, but you're going to start seeing diamonds in the sky, lights in the sky, very beautiful, unusual light patterns in the sky, not the aurora borealis variety, but something quite different. And if this comes to be, which I'm pretty sure it will, Calder's telling me to shut up, pretty sure it will, you've heard it right here first. It's you. It's coming from the light, the new level of light on the planet right now. So let's take a deep breath with that, and once again feel into your light body. Your light body. It changes the biology. Totally changes. Okay, let's begin. But I'm only 15 minutes in. We can begin. 30 minutes, and we can begin. Let's talk about receiving. I'm going to get Linda on the microphone, and she's going to be going out into this volunteer audience. It is a huge thing. It's not just a nice, kind of a fluffy, let's all receive now. It is metaphysics at its finest, at its greatest right now, receiving. We just did a Master's Pause, which was brilliant, by the way. Master's Pause about receiving. It's an opportunity to sit, listen to the music, listen to me, talk about receiving. You're not very good at receiving. You haven't been until now. No, you're not. I mean, it's not that I'm throwing around grades here, but you get about a C- on receiving. Now D, D+. Not really good at receiving. You're good at giving your energy away. You're good at exhausting yourselves and blah, blah, blah. But receiving, no. It is a huge thing. And it's not just a matter of trying to balance you being nice to others, them being nice to you. This is a physics, metaphysics about receiving. Can you actually receive your own energy? That's it. And there's been the misconception, the receiving's about taking it from this big mass consciousness, and you're taking more than you deserve, and all the rest of that. Are you ready to take on your own energy, to take it into your being? That's what it's about. it goes against the grain of so many of you. You're givers. You're always giving. So many of you caregivers for lifetimes, and you only think of yourself at the last moment, almost when it's too late, when you're sick, you're going crazy, or you're broke. You're living in your car. No, they took the car. You're living on the street. It's a huge change. It's a huge change in physics for the planet that tie into all the other changes that are occurring, changes in biology, the changes in consciousness and power and all the rest of that. You're being asked now to receive. To receive. I started talking about it at the last shout. We've talked about it at some other gatherings, but it isn't just about accepting your own energy and receiving and not questioning, not getting mental about it, not contemplating how much to receive. Just frickin' receive. That's it. It's your energy. It's also, when you get into the true physics of it, it's also acknowledging for once and for all, it is your energy. It's not an outside thing. It's receiving. Receiving is actually beautiful and very sensual. Very sensual. But before we go any further, Linda, with a microphone, the question is, how's your receiving been this last month? Your personal receiving. Linda, please. Have you been a good receiver? Have you allowed yourself to receive? Hello, Vince.
No.
No. No. Okay, thank you. Explain a little bit. Why not, Vince?
I'm too busy doing.
You're too busy doing. Okay. No, that's a good Chambra answer. Too busy doing. Had you thought maybe about allocating a little bit of time to just receive?
I keep talking about it.
Right, right. But not
Putting
doing
it into
it.
action is
How difficult is it?
it's obviously difficult because I'm not doing it.
What would it take? What would it take to get you just to do a little receiving? How about a Morab at the end of today? Would that work? Could I personally gift you with the I am receiving and ask you to
That
listen
would
to
be
it?
beautiful.
Good. I will personally do that. Please make note back there. One, I am receiving, going to Vince. Yeah. And would that get you to receive a little bit?
I would hope so.
I would too. Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, would you report back next month?
Gladly.
Good. Thank you. Receiving. I go to Carrie. She's sitting right next door. Linda. Go to Carrie. Carrie.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Why, Linda?
He's doing my job now.
Sometimes she loves
Yeah. Receiving.
Yes, Adamus?
So could I do a little setup here?
Please.
You're going through a tumultuous time right now, right?
Why air my dirty laundry right now?
Well, you're
Okay,
airing it.
yes.
You're airing it all the time anyway, so I might as well just do it here. So, receiving.
Yeah?
Are you
that
ready?
was my broken finger now.
Are you ready for
I didn't
it?
even mean to do that. Okay,
Are you
I'm
ready?
Let's
Okay.
do this.
No, it's a tough one for you,
But
and that's why I wanted to put you
talk
on the
about
mic.
it in my head all the time.
I know you do, but it's a tough one, Carrie. What's the holdback on it?
I don't think I was getting enough sex. I came to this conclusion.
Right. So you are not receiving. That's for sure.
Not
Okay.
any. Zero zip nada. Except
No,
for
that's
myself,
part of the-
though. I was receiving some things from myself.
That's part of the cake mix here. Is that you're receiving? It's you're not doing it on a physical, sensual, sexual level. You're treating receiving like you're not worthy of it. You got to straighten all these other things out in your life before you can receive. Why? You're kind of like in a conundrum right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. You ready for some big answer, lightning bolt to come along?
Let's wrestle.
This is it.
Okay.
I'm receiving.
Okay, I'll receive. Right
Why not, Carrie? Why aren't you doing it? I can see. I watch you. You're on my special list. I watch you all the time, and
That's
It's like,
creepy.
yeah, she has
So
to.
creepy.
All she has to do is receive. But you're battling it. Why are you battling it?
Because I am a warrior, Adamus.
You're okay, but let it go then.
I
all
try.
right?
I mean, I throw down that sword. I put it in like a fire, okay? On my angel's peak.
Carrie, you take that sword, you throw it in the fire or in the trash or whatever. Then you go to the closet and there's 800 more.
I didn't put it. Help me, okay? You pick on me and there's no solution. Like, I don't say I received driving
Carrie,
in the car.
We're going to do a Morab today.
Oh, that'll
And
be
I
the
want you to
answer.
sit in here. Don't be back out there. I want you to sit in here, and I want you to do it, and then and
Report
learn to
back?
receive.
Okay.
Learn to receive, okay?
Yes, I will.
And then report back. You and Vince next month, front and center.
Okay, I will. Thank
Linda,
you.
it's back on you. She paid me $10 to call on her. So, go ahead. Anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody. How's your receiving?
Okay. How about
How is your receiving? Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Better.
Better than?
A few months ago,
Okay. Great. Physically, mentally?
physically.
Okay. Good. How's your receiving?
So.
Why? What's wrong? I mean,
I
is
don't
receiving
know.
that difficult?
I don't know.
What would you like to receive right now?
Everything.
Oh, good. Well, that narrows it down. But why the whole back? You heard the words. We talked about it last month. We talked about it in Keokuk. And I'm doing this for the sake of everybody viewing in. You're all about in the same boat. And that boat has got a big hole in it. And if you would receive, a new boat would come along, you know? That's the way it works. But what's the holdback? We're having our little meeting with the Merlin meeting and say, what's the holdback? Everything's here now. You got this new light coming in. You got this great physics. Why? Don't say those words.
I won't.
You will go to the back room. You waiting for somebody else to do it?
I guess so.
Don't say those words.
I won't say
That's
those
right there.
words.
Say, Adamus, I have yet to realize. Okay. So, again, you're going to be up here next month, too, and reporting after we do the Morab. And then, do you need a free gift of the I am receiving as well?
Well, I don't
Yes, put it on
need
the
it
list.
to be
Put
free,
it on
but
the- well, we'll give it for free. It's just to get you to really dive into it. Receiving, it's so easy. Like, okay, like that. But you're thinking through it. What does receiving mean? How much can I receive? And who am I receiving it from? And does it come just a little bit and then stop? And then do I have a bill to pay? Am I going to get an invoice for everything I've received? I was telling Gaia, okay, I love this group, but they're about as thick-headed as an oak tree. She laughed. An oak tree. But just receive, okay?
okay.
Okay. Okay, we got a free I am receiving coming to you. We're going to be giving away a lot of these. Okay. How's your receiving?
she received the mic and she wasn't happy?
I realized that instantly.
It's good.
Good. What did you receive?
Me?
Good. How was me?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Okay,
Yes.
was it you? Was it like kind of expanded you? Was it?
I don't know. Oh,
God, it's like kryptonite. We'll let that go.
okay.
In the
Good.
future, we please have a sign for the studio audience. Number one, turn off your mobile phones. Number two, don't say I don't know. And we'll just post it right over there, okay? Yes, so your receiving is okay?
Yes.
Oh, how, in terms of what? Abundance, happiness, joy, insights,
Love.
love from you.
Yes.
Good. I can actually feel
But
that.
I need some abundance.
You need some abundance.
Yes.
Oh, well, receive it.
Okay.
I mean, I oversimplify, but actually I don't. You just receive it. So what's the conundrum? What's going on with you?
Well, before Heaven's Cross.
Hold the mic up.
Oh, sorry. I received something.
Before.
Yeah.
Okay. What material? Was
No.
it emotional?
No.
Energetic?
Yes.
Okay. And then the problem?
There's no problem. I just don't know what I received.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's
I'm aware that I received something.
okay. That's a good one actually to bring up because sometimes you receive and you don't know what it is, and that's actually kind of nice. It's like getting a surprise in the
Yes.
Cracker Jack box, but it's there.
Yes.
Okay, and all you have to do is allow.
I know how to do that.
Okay, good. No, you're doing well. Thank you, Carrie.
you.
Get back in here. Carrie. Okay, a couple more. How was your receiving?
I am grateful to receive a lot of things in my life lately.
Right.
From the last time I be here, thank you for your hug.
Mm.
You bring a lot of good things to me.
And so, what have you been receiving?
Love for myself.
Good.
Realizing how my dragon, since I come here,
Right. Good.
and realizing that I have to let it go many things, please others, and not myself.
So, what substantial changes in your life have there been in the last 3 months?
I start to love myself, let it go my kids.
Yeah.
It
Letting go of
was
your
a tough
kids?
one. Yeah.
Right. How'd you let them go? Would you take the leash off?
Listen, you.
Good, good. And how did they react to it?
Is no reaction. Actually, they helped me to let them go. Actually.
good.
I come to my spirit now. The episode of a lady that he was here, and I related a lot with her.
Right.
And that is, it was an open door for me to gain courage and let it go.
Good.
The situation that it was very dramatic and
Very
draining.
dramatic. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. For you or for them or all the above?
I believe it was more for me
Mm-hmm.
and even the kids, just to be more precisely,
Mm-hmm.
he was saying, I love you, but I want to just be with my dad. Just go. I don't want to be with you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was hurtful in aspect of human being.
Yes.
I think I'm a loving mom. I love kids.
How old were your kids when you let them go?
He was physically, he was 6,
Right.
5, 6.
Uh-huh.
But he come with this personality, a very strong personality, detached from me.
Mm-hmm.
I was more attached to him. I need to provide for him. I need to be provide, suffer for him, be there for him, sacrifice myself for him.
Right.
And he said, I want to just be with my father. He was very hypnotic with his father. And I was like, but how come he can love his father if he's a criminal?
Right.
How can you love that? And then I start to realize I had to let it go and release because he's okay.
And by the way, the ancestral connections are very, very strong. It doesn't matter what you might happen to think of their father. It's the ancestral things that keep
He's
them bound.
very interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting, the dynamic.
Do you
actually.
feel lighter, happier?
I feel lighter. I
yeah.
feel something burn. I feel free. My
Right.
goodness, just that word, the feeling. I feel free.
Good.
It come time in terms spiritually level, soul level. I try connect to him mentally or telepathically. I think he has those skills.
Right.
He's very creative, kids. So I feel like energy connected
So
a certain degree.
basically, you received some freedom for yourself.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous for everybody.
And there was
Everybody. I had a big virus.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
so
for your gift, actually.
actually received freedom and
Yes.
at the expense of some drama,
Oh,
but
gosh, yes.
you got through it, right?
A lot.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. One or two more. What have you received? Or how good are you at receiving right now? Hello, Pablo.
Hi. Yes, I've been receiving happiness from myself.
Good.
And also, I've been blocking all other stuff. I put people first in front of me.
Yeah.
And that has prohibited me or impeding me learning from myself more.
Yeah.
And I would like to change that from now on.
Yeah. And there's that old mass consciousness concept that you have to put others first. And that's so wrong. I mean, it's so wrong. And it's, I don't want to go back into the origins of how they came to be. Yes, love, respect others, do unto them, that whole thing. But if you don't put yourself first, nobody gets ahead. I mean, the entire planet does not evolve if you're not putting yourself first. And it's not being selfish. It's taking care of you. Then you can really help others.
Yes.
But
absolutely. It cost me a lot.
Yeah, cost you a lot.
Yep.
So how are you at receiving on a scale of 1 to 10?
In some stuff, I think about 5 or 6. In some stuff, 0. So
Okay. And what's holding you back?
what's sorry?
What's holding you back?
Mostly, I think I'm afraid of, like
Right.
letting go some things. I don't know if they come back later on. So
Right.
I try to attach to them instead of letting them go. But I
Right.
think that letting them go will make me better and make me happier.
How's your abundance?
Uh,
Yeah?
So-so.
Okay, about a 4 or 5. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last one. I'm looking for somebody who's gotten. Before you pick, there's somebody here that's gotten a real nice gift, and not necessarily physical material, but a real change. But you're not raising your hands, or you don't want to say. Somebody's had something really nice happen. Take it away, Dad.
First of all, I'll say when I go to sleep, I forget about receiving, and so I put on the Morab or the music, and I can visualize mostly in my cells. But then when I'm driving around, what I have received, I'll just cut to the
Yes,
chase.
thank you.
Is I've let go. This has to do with Taz Taz chili, and
Right.
I don't care.
Right?
I'm not going to throw it away, but I am just so relaxed about whatever's going to
What was that whole
happen.
program about? I mean, the Tad's Dad Chili, you've been working on it for what,
It's-
5, 6 years?
A little more than that, but
Okay.
yeah.
What was that about?
Great question.
Great
It was I'm not saying a mashing. It was my reason for breathing and living, and
But you're ready to let go of it now.
yeah, it may take place, but I don't. Yeah, I have let go of it. It's
Could I cut to the chase here?
Yes,
with you?
please.
So it was about seeing how good of a creator you were.
Okay.
You were testing yourself. Can I be a creator for once? You've had some failed creations in the past, and everybody has. The greats have all had many failed, but you were like testing yourself. Can I do it? You were trying to apply a combination of the metaphysics that we talk about here and a combination of your own hard-headedness, your own stubbornness, and tenacity. And it worked to a degree, and then it doesn't work. And you found yourself, you get ahead, then you get behind, get ahead, get behind. And you've learned that, hopefully you've learned that creating isn't about powering. Creating isn't about strength and muscle. Creating is about allowing and now receiving. So you're trying to use some of your old skills, your old tricks, your old ingredients, so to speak, with some of the new ones. And how did they work out together? And to a degree, some success, but to a degree, a lot of frustration along the way. And now what do you do with it?
I let it be. I'm not. I can feel the potential. I'm
You're
not.
mentally dreaming, dear. You're mentally dreaming.
Okay.
Okay. And it ain't going to go nowhere. I'll explain it in just a moment. It's going to fall flat on its ass because you're still applying old mental positive thinking, affirmation. I know we can do it techniques. It's you and your sword. It's you and your battle armor. And damn it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove to the world, but mostly to myself, that I'm a good creator. But you're doing it you're trying to do it in a new energy way, but you're using it with old energy tricks. And you're taking those old energy tricks and kind of repainting them and fixing them up to try to
Like
make them look like their
coating
new
them.
energy.
It's
Yeah.
still the old under there, but
And
there's
it's not.
this-
It's all really quite simple, and you're making it so hard. You know why? Because you
Tell
like
me.
it that way. Thank you. No, you like it that way. You like to muscle through things and tough your way out of it. So receiving for you is really tough. And you hear the words and you say, I'm receiving. I'm going to get out there and beat their ass and make them buy my chili. And it's like, no, Tad, that's not receiving. That's using, it's the same old tricks, just with a new dress on or a new lipstick or whatever. I'm asking you and all Shambra to really receive now. It's not that hard to do. It's very easy to do. It's acknowledging this is your energy and you're going to allow it. And you're not going to fight anything anymore. You're not going to fight the food buyers or Gary or your friends or any of that.
Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, hi, Gary. Yeah, Gary's like, thank goodness. Adamus, keep talking. and then you'll see the true nature of creation, what it's like. And it may not be exactly what the human thinks. It could morph into something else much greater. But you're no longer battling. That's what I said last month. Stop the efforting. Stop the battling. You're wearing yourself out. You're burning
I felt
yourself
that.
out.
Like, do I just lay in bed and go, okay, Dads, here we go. I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not doing. I'm
You would
going to have
probably
coffee.
be better off, yes, than what you're doing now.
Okay.
But what you do is as you allow and receive, then you're in a different flow. Now, in the flow, you're moving somewhere. You're not just laying in bed. Things are happening, but you're responding to them in joy, not in effort, not with muscle. And you and your representative, so many Shambra, you have this, I'm going to dream my way into it. I'm going to power dream. It's going to happen. And I'm never going to say no. I'm never going to let my guard down. I'm always going to be positive. I have to be positive. Doesn't work. I'm here to tell you right now, fuck positive thinking.
So, fuck Dad's chili?
No, I've got to collect. Calder fell on the floor here. Get back up, boy. we've got a channel to do here.
I'm going to remember that you said that and use that when I need to.
I just patented it. You and copyrighted it. You can't use it.
Watch
That was
me.
Calder talking, not me. Positive thinking does not work. It does not work. It's power thinking. It's pretend dreams. There's only one thing that works. And we're going to talk about it in just a moment here. It just doesn't work. And you're using some, I would say, techniques that you picked up along the way 20, 30, 40 years ago and thought you'd kind of weave it into a nice tapestry, apply it to your dad's chili, and life was going to be great. And actually, in a way, you're lucky that it didn't work out because life wouldn't have been that great. You'd have gotten so tied up in the chili sauce that you wouldn't have had time to take for you your true mission on the planet. You could be doing the chili, but you would have gotten enmeshed in it. You've gotten boiled in your own chili and not doing what you really came here to do. So you kind of were self-correcting. You didn't let it work out on one hand because you knew that the way you were approaching your creation, you would have gotten so deep into it, and then because you went into the creation with battle, you would have constantly been battling every bean and every spice that was in there. It would have gotten you sick, and ultimately wouldn't have gotten you where you want to be in this life. So it was kind of a blessing. But there's an easier way to do it. Whether you want the chili to go on, it's fine. But it can be done in a way of receiving, not efforting. You're almost like the poster child for efforting, strength, muscling, making it happen. Yeah. And next month, wear some boxing gloves and the shorts. I really like those. Because you've been the poster child for that. And it's been such an essential part of your life. I gotta make it happen. Not anymore. You allow it to happen, and no more of these tricks. Yeah, Gary, right there calling. So thank you. You're the one I wanted to talk to.
Well, thank you.
You bet. So let's take a good deep breath with that. How good at you are receiving. D plus, C minus, maybe a 4 on a scale of 10, and I'm being very giving. It's not your nature. It's not your conditioning. You've been the battlers. You've been the leaders. You've been the power creators. But that comes to an end now. Okay? I want to talk about change. Change. Things don't really change a lot, that much, but they are changing now. But normally, things don't change that much. You go back into your past lifetimes, your past history. You go back about, 400 or 500 years ago, into a lifetime back then. Not much happened. You had the steam engine, and then about, 80 years later, the sewing machine. Not much changed. Villages didn't change. The people didn't change, especially when they were reincarnating back into the same families and the same villages, and politics didn't change much. Nothing really changed except the weather. That was the most exciting change that happened. And it wasn't so many lifetimes ago. The big thing was, oh, today it's raining. And that's what you had to look forward to. I mean, really, life did really rather orbit around the weather. Now change is happening pretty fast. Change is happening at, really, really fast speeds. But I want to talk about one very important element of change. But I'm going to jump back for a moment to receiving. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to bring it back around the other end. So change really doesn't happen much. There's really only one thing that causes change. It is not positive thinking. I would really like all of you to dump that right now. All of you have used that in your lives. And if you didn't use it for like a business type thing like Tad, you used it to keep the devil away. I have to think positive. I have to think in the light. You had to control your thoughts. I have to think positive things, and then positive things will happen to me. Didn't work, did it? No. And you gave more credence to your dark thoughts than you did to your light thoughts. In other words, your dark thoughts, they had a lot of power, right? You didn't even have to think them. They were just right there. And they were going to bring dark things into your life. So quick, run from them. Think positive things quickly. Think positive. I am good. I am great. Actually, I'm a putz, but I'm going to say these words and hopefully make the dark things go away. You gave power to the dark, but never really to the light, to your positive side. But so many of you, particularly in this lifetime, in your early studies, in your early journey into realization, came across this thing, the positive thinking, good thoughts, affirmations. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. Until you open your eyes and look in the mirror. Oh, shit. What happened? And then you think, well, no, if I keep saying it, then one day I'll get really good looking. No, all you're doing is sitting with your affirmations going, I'm really ugly. I want to be beautiful. I'm really a bad person. I want to be good. You're just digging yourself in more than ever, entrenching yourself. These affirmations, these positive thoughts, get rid of them. And then don't be afraid of the bad thoughts either, because they're really not yours. Stop trying to mold yourself and use those things. Receiving is all about letting go of all that. You don't need to think good thoughts to make things happen. It didn't work. It really didn't work. And you said, well, no, one time it worked. I know, but the other 10 million, it really did it. Don't hang your hat on that one little time it worked. You weren't really getting what you wanted. The power thoughts, the affirmations, all the rest of that. How many of you did you do these posters and you put these pictures up there? Did you ever get any of that junk that you put up on that poster? The cars, the romance, the health, or anything else? No. Vision board, thank you. How was yours?
No, it's garbage. I never did it.
You never did it.
Maybe that's why I didn't get these things.
There is one thing that really causes change. What would that be? Any guesses? One thing that causes change. Why don't you get the microphone? Death. Yeah, well, all right, two things.
Allowing the reception of change.
Allowing the reception. Well, that's getting close. Yeah, that's pretty good. Thank you. Allowing change. That's good. There's one thing that affects change. One thing. Please.
Oh, it's me.
Yes.
Well, receiving.
Yeah, oh, okay. That's part of it, but not all of it. One thing that causes change. Go ahead, Linda's going to take your microphone. Happy Canadian Day.
Choice, conscious choice.
Nope.
Really? Because it's worked for me.
No.
Incredibly.
No, there's something else is working for you. You're calling it choice, but it's really
Well,
something else.
sensuality. I call into the energy. I feel energies. I'm good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of flow with them. And I get a lot of information right away. It's just
Sure.
wisdom. That works for me.
Okay.
But
How
I
well does
believe
it work for you?
Actually, pretty well.
I mean, scale 1 to 10.
I want to say 10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes things happen.
Right.
Talking about receiving, I'm catching myself
Mm-hmm.
through resistance. That's my new hobby.
You're catching your resistance.
Yes, all day long.
Yeah.
I am looking at my resistance.
Isn't it
and then I
fascinating?
say, oh, okay, even if it's a crappy thing,
Right.
all right, I receive. And then suddenly that leads into something wonderful. So I'm full of surprises every day.
Good.
I'm not saying, well, it happens, shit happens, you get
Yeah.
angry or whatever. But I'm releasing a little bit of control and this urge to solve everything, because I'm a mom and I have all these things to solve, and I'm allowing myself to just allow others to be who they are.
Good.
But I always thought choice was, the one
Well,
thing.
choice is nice, but
The one thing that truly changes, because I say, hey, I don't like this anymore. Enough.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to let that go. Not what will become, but
Okay.
what it's enough in my life.
choice is important, but it's
But-
not the
So it's
thing
not
that
what you're
causes
looking
change.
for.
Not what I'm
Okay.
looking for.
Okay.
You'll see in just a moment.
And I just receive a chance to say, hi, friend.
Yeah,
It's
thank
very
you.
nice.
Good to see you, Master. Yeah. Okay, one more. What causes change? I know where you're going. Okay.
I'm the lucky one. Perception, how I perceive things.
That's kind of like choice. Perception is important, but it by itself does not cause change. Okay.
That will be my.
Mary Sue. Microphone, please.
I would say perspective.
Same as perception, kind of spelled a little different.
Yeah, they're cause and
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. Yes, it's part of it, but here's the big reveal, unless you want to.
Yeah, I think for change,
We got to get a photo of this. Yeah.
Here. Just push this
Don't you
button.
do one of those?
No, we're too close.
We're too close. Okay. Big smile. Okay. Good. Thank you, Crash. Here, Mary Sue?
okay,
Yes.
I think the biggest change for me has been realizing that it's all mine.
It's all yours? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
That's
inside.
good. Yeah.
It's inside.
How are you at receiving?
I would rate myself pretty well. I have.
It's so tentative. Can you hear those words in one moment? Like, oh yes, I'm going to give myself a lot of credit,
Okay,
but I'm not really doing so good. But
No, I feel that I have understood gift giving in a different level than anybody all of my life.
Mhm.
I have basically hated physical gift giving and receiving.
I'm good at it. I'm receiving.
And
Yeah.
I don't like it because no one knows, other people don't know me. And I feel that I'm different, and my gifts that are important to me are not what other people want. So I think coming back to myself,
Yes.
it's much
You're receiving.
my receiving.
Okay.
And that's what I'm focusing on now.
Okay. Good. Thank you. The big reveal here. One thing that causes change, and the only thing, and then there's things that fall into place as a result of that. The one and only thing that really caused changes on this planet is light.
Oh.
It's so easy. It's light. You cannot have a change without a change in light. Either more or less, or you'd say more luminosity or less luminosity. Otherwise, everything is always going to stay the same. We have a certain quantity, I guess you could say, of light on the planet. And let's say 300, 400 years ago, it was pretty much the same, pretty constant, didn't change much. Once in a while, a little bit more, and then once in a while, a little bit less, but nothing changed. To have true change in your life, there has to be more light or less light. But let's take a look at more. Positive thinking doesn't do it. You can positive think yourself all the way into being broke and broken and broke. Affirmations don't make a difference. However, light does. So when you take a little bit more light, let's say in your life, you allow more light, you receive your energy, your consciousness, you stop thinking of it being in the other realms and you allow it right here, change will happen. And because it's based on light, your light, and you're receiving it, the change is going to serve you ultimately. Now, the human self might at first say, yeah, but something happened, something bad happened, I lost a major account, or I'm talking in Tad's case, sometimes a reordering takes place. Just don't panic. You've got to learn to trust that your inner light, because then something else comes along. Oftentimes, old things need to move out of the way before new things come in. It's particularly true in the case of relationships. And you think, oh, you know, if you allow more light in, a relationship changes. It's difficult to do, but ultimately it's better for both of you, as an example. For any change to occur, up or down, left or right, good or bad, there has to be a change in the level of light. You absolutely can determine that by your level of receiving. You're not receiving like gifts in the mail. You're not receiving more health. You're not receiving more money or more intelligence. You are simply, when you're receiving light. That's it. Light is consciousness. Reality couldn't exist without consciousness, without light. What you are doing is saying, I am ready for a change. I'm ready to receive my light, my consciousness. And then, dear human, don't try to think your way or power your way or positive thought your way into it. Allow what happens next. And that's when certain attributes like the light will help you to change your own perspective. It'll help you make a wiser choice. But it's the light that causes any change to occur. What's happening right now as you receive, and I'm being harsh on you about receiving, saying you're not really doing very good, because at the core of it, it is about letting more light come in to affect changes in your life. Screw positive thinking. It doesn't work. And all those old techniques and tricks and everything else you had, stop the battling, the powering, the determined warrior, that whole gig. Learn to allow light. Light is the only thing in physical reality that will cause change. On a personal level, on a deep personal level, and it's very easy to do. We'll do it in our Morab today if we ever get to that point. So that I want that just etched into you. The only thing that causes change is light. And you could do less light, you can close down more, and that's going to change things in your life. Where you can receive that, your light, your energy, your consciousness, it will change things. It will absolutely change them. So when you're running in circles and, oh, I don't know what to do, when you go to bed at night and you're stressing and you're overthinking everything, and how do I get out of this dilemma I'm in, you stop and receive your light. That's it. No conditions on it. No applying it. Well, I'm going to apply this light to my health or to my relationship issues or anything else. You're only accepting light. At the core of you, you as a human, you as a soul being, already knows what you really want. You don't have to tell it. What do you think? You're so stupid? You don't have to tell it. You don't have to tell your own energy. Sometimes you think that you have to tell, here's what you want. You have to tell God what you want. Or your soul or your I am already knows. Already knows. Usually, even when you don't know. So now you let the light in. You receive it. You don't try to tell it what to do. You don't say, I need to sell 200 cases of chili today. Any of that. And then you absolutely allow what happens now with that light. You do not need to control it. Keep your hands off of it. Keep your brain away from it. You only screw it up. Allow it to now come into your life. And what you will discover is that you've been using what I call the real artificial intelligence, your brain, on things for far too long. That's artificial. It doesn't know, it doesn't understand light. It only understands logic. Receive that light and let it come in and watch what happens and then dance with what happens. But stop trying to control it. Stop trying to tell it, I need this, I need that. It already knows. You get that? It already knows. You're the only one screwing it up by thinking that the light and your soul and your I am are so stupid that you have to tell it what you want. Take a deep breath and allow. The only thing that makes change, affects change, is light. The level of light. That's it. And it's consciousness. And it's so simple. So simple. Let's take a deep breath with that. Very good deep breath. Change occurs only when the level of light becomes more or less. Light is the only thing that truly affects change. Everything else is just a game. It's just a game. Let's take a deep breath now, and now we'll begin the Morab. You as the human can allow more light in. That is one thing you can do. But I'll tell you, it's going to be there anyway, whether you allow it or not. You can resist it and push it away. Well, it's going to make its way in sooner or later. We talked about receiving, and what it is about receiving your light, your consciousness. There's a desire to try to manage it and control it, but then you take a deep breath, and you just let go of all that, and you receive. It starts with a breath. It starts with a breath. The breath, the deep breath, grounds and centers you, brings you into your presence, and gets you out of your mind. Let's do that now. Good deep breath. Like, When you breathe in, you are receiving. You're receiving air, oxygen, of course, but you're also just receiving yourself, your presence. Take a good deep breath and receive. Receiving isn't a mental thing. If you find yourself getting mental, just take a deep breath. It's such a beautiful symbol of receiving. You breathe it in, and then you let it flow. It flows through your body, and it flows out. in now light. Yeah, you can breathe light in. Absolutely. Take a deep breath and just receive your own light. It's your energy you're breathing in. That's a really good way to start to allowing your own energy as you breathe it in. And when you breathe it in, it's not just air, it's not just communal air that you're breathing in. Now you're consciously breathing in and receiving your light. It starts with a breath, very simple. And then allowing. You know, I'm a pretty big proponent of allowing. And the fact is, everything's already there. But can you allow? Can you go beyond your own, lack of self-worth, your own old beliefs that you can only have just enough, and truly allow? When you allow, you're going beyond just the perception of yourself as a human. You're allowing your higher self, your soul, your I am. You're really allowing consciousness and light. So often I see Shamba searching for abundance or health or answers. I say, as simple as allowing, it's already right there. It's already right there. Stop going out there. By the way, talking earlier about time traveling, our new release, our new cloud class. And the whole thing about time traveling is that you don't go anywhere. You don't hop in a little machine, or you don't even astral project to 300 years ago or 20 years into the future. You don't go anywhere. You allow it to come to you. Period. That's how you time travel. You don't blast off into the astral realms. That's freaking dangerous out there. You'd be like a Boy Scout in the ghetto. They would come after you so fast. It's like so naive. No. Time traveling, you let the past or the future come to you. It's the same with allowing. You take a deep breath. Let's start with that. Deep breath and just allow. What are you allowing? You, your light. You take a deep breath and just allow. It means open up. Open up. Open up those doors and windows of your human self. Open up the gates and open up your mind. Just open up and allow. And then, as you breathe and allow, now receive. I know allowing and receiving they're pretty close, but they're kind of different too. I've seen a lot of Shambhar now allow. They open up the doors and windows of their human self, let the light in, but they don't receive it. Like, okay, the light's there, but they're not receiving it. They're not digesting it. Receive that light now. You allowed it to come close, now receive it. This is all pretty easy. If it weren't for all the millions of overlays and the resistances, it's all pretty easy. You breathe, you allow, and then you receive. You bring it in. No, some of you are trying to, no, you're going to make me stop the music here in a minute if I have to. You're trying to put it into strict terms. You're saying, okay, I allow my health to change. I receive energy so that my children will move out of the house. I allow a new car. Stop that. Stop mentalizing this process. Stop being so damn human. It is open-ended allowing. That's all it is. It's just light. It's your consciousness and energy. You take a deep breath, you allow it, and you receive it. Inherent in all this process is that with a greater luminosity, more light, then change happens. And you and the human and your soul already knows where to go with all this. You don't have to direct all this. You just have to play with it and experience it. Right away, some of you were like, okay, I allow myself to have a new car. Shut up, just allow, would you? Okay, let's go back to the basics. Let's do breathing now. Let's do good breathing. Let's now allow that light and energy to be present. Breathe it in and allow that light. It's sitting right there. It's ready to go. It's been sitting right there. It's been idling, just waiting. So you allow it. And now that it's right there, you receive it. You bring it in. You bring it in. See? Pretty simple. It's like so simple. It's like Sesame Street enlightenment. It's like just you take a deep breath and you allow. You take a deep breath, you allow your light, your energy, and then you receive it. You integrate it, you bring it in. You take a deep breath, you allow your light to be present. You receive it in this moment. You take a deep breath. You allow your divinity, your light, and you receive it. You bring it into this reality, this life of yours. And you see, when you do that, and it's so simple, you don't have to be thinking your way. You don't have to be wondering how much light or what you're going to do with it. Your inherent wisdom already understands. You, the human, now are relieved of that whole game of how much and what should I do and how hard should I work at it and where should I put it and what if I do it wrong. Sesame Street enlightenment. It's really easy. Take a deep breath. Get you centered, then you allow this light, your energy. So it's in your presence, and then you receive it. It flows into your body, it flows into your mind. It flows into your past, it flows into your future, and now you got flow. You breathe. You allow your light. Receive it into your reality, into your life. And now you've got flow. You take a deep breath. You allow your light. You receive it into this reality. And now everything flows. And as you do this, as you go through this, you realize that you've been working really hard at things. You've been trying to be the kind of the traffic cop, the prison warden, everything, all the energies, and you've gotten so mental and gotten so tied up in your brain, and you couldn't figure the way out. I know what that's like. I have this story I'll tell you sometime. I was in a crystal prison for 100,000 years, and for those who are new, they haven't heard the story, I will tell it again soon. But you stop and you take a deep breath, and you just open up and allow. It's really easy. And then you receive that light. And all while this is happening, that light is now flowing in. Only light can cause change. That's it. Not positive thinking. You can pretend for a little while it does. Not affirmations, not being a good churchgoer, not by praying every day, not by being somebody who takes care of everybody else. Only light can bring about change. Only light. So you take a deep breath. You allow that light. You receive it into this reality, and then everything starts flowing. It just starts flowing. And you realize you don't have to have this massive plan what to do with these things, or how to change your life. It's changing before your very eyes in a way that is divine. It's just changing in spite of you in a way that's divine. You take a deep breath. Let's do it. A deep breath. Come on. Take a deep breath, and you allow your light to flow in. And you receive it in this reality, in this body. And everything starts flowing again. It's pretty simple. And should you forget, what did he say? Am I supposed to receive and then think and then exercise? What was that he said? It's so simple. It's breathe. It's allow. It's receive. And it's flow. Barf. Barf. Oh, you know, it's okay because you'll remember now. You'll remember. And what was that he said? Oh, I'm supposed to barf. Yes. Ugh. Let all the old stuff out and let your light in. Barf out all those old, mental, tedious, burdensome, struggling, battling ways. Just barf it out. And then you take a deep breath and you allow, receive, and flow. You remember that, right? Yes. Good. Let's do that together now. Get up here, Linda. Come here. Get up here. Get up here. Linda was a school teacher at one point. So now, dear class, let's barf with Linda. Come on. Blah. Again. Blah. And again. Blah. Why is it that Chambra is so good at that, but they can't receive? Why is it that... Let's all do it. Let's join in online, wherever you happen to be, with Linda, who usually does breathing, but now with Linda on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Blah. Okay, Gaia just left. Damn it. Kazumi, would you have a talk with her? Would you please explain what we're doing here? Would you please? Oh, what the hell. Well, just remember, all is well in all of creation. Blah!
Technically, we're supposed to breathe, but not after all that. I mean, no. But again, feel the beauty of the message. So much, so simple, and just receive that light. So thank you for being a part of this incredible Alt 10 shout. Thank you, everyone listening in. We can see you all over the world, and this audience, didn't they do a good job? So anyways, thank you, everyone, and we'll be back next month. Thank you.